Hi everyone, it's Mr. Kwan here. I wanted to talk to you all today about the keys to success. Now, before I jump into that topic, I wanted to share a story with you. When I was in college, I was working multiple jobs to try and support my family financially. I was taking care of my younger brother, and I was also going to school full time. I found myself often really stressed out and suffering from anxiety. Because of this, I developed an unhealthy relationship with food. It became my outlet when I was dealing with stress or anxiety, and that resulted in me gaining a lot of weight. After a couple of years, I had reached my tipping point. I was at my highest weight and was dealing with complications to my health as a result. I made the decision that I was going to make changes so that I could become healthier as well as lose weight. This is a photo of me several years later. In order to lose that weight and become healthier, I had to change many different aspects of my life. We often see in infomercials the before and after pictures of people, but they don't show us the long journey that was taken to get there. I wanted to give you all a brief glimpse into my journey and the steps that I took to lead a healthier life. So, here are some of the things that I did. One is that I started to make sure that I was getting 7 to 8 hours of daily sleep on a regular basis. I know a lot of times it's really tempting to stay up late in college to study for exams and things like that, but really, when we're not getting enough sleep, our mind is not strong on a daily basis. I also changed my attitude towards my physical health and what I viewed as failure. There would sometimes be days where I would have a slip up, where I would eat an entire pizza or not work out for a few days, but I had to tell myself that I'm going to have these hiccups, they're going to occur, and I just need to get back on the horse and try my best the next day. I started exercising 3 to 5 times a week, and I tried to vary my exercise through things like running, swimming, tennis, yoga, walking my dog, and things like that. I was often a big soda drinker growing up. Sometimes I'd have 2 or 3 cans of soda a day, but once I reached that point in my life where I wanted to become healthier, I made the decision to give up soda completely. So it has been several years since I have had a soda, and oftentimes the food that I was eating was not only in large quantities, but the food that I was eating was also quite unhealthy. And I often turned to eating fast food because that felt like comfort to me. So I also made the decision to cut out fast food from my life. And in turn, because I gave up fast food, I started trying to eat healthier foods, including vegetables. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I started eating kale and I hate kale. I don't know anyone that actually likes kale. It's also often easier to exercise when you're doing it with other people. So I started joining workout classes and making a conscious effort to find workout buddies or surrounding myself with people that had similar physical goals that I did. I also started seeing a therapist to help me with my anxiety because that is often the anxiety and the stress is what caused me to eat and overeat and eat unhealthy foods. I also bought a Fitbit that helped me log my calories that I was consuming as well as tracking my exercise and my physical activity. So, why was I telling you all of that information? Here are a few things that I hope that you can take away from this video. The first one being, although we live in a world of instant gratification, transformation doesn't happen overnight. From those two pictures that I showed you, the in-between part was several years. It definitely did not change overnight. And the other takeaway is that changing one or two things is not necessarily going to lead to success. It really requires that we change several things, including our attitude and our mindset. Now, why am I telling you all of this about my health journey? Well, there are actually a lot of parallels between my health journey as well as the keys to academic success. So I wanted to share with all of you these keys to academic success that you have individual control over. Now, I realize that there are sometimes outside factors that we have no control over that might affect our academic success. For example, you might develop some kind of illness while you are studying and throughout your academic career, or you might be in a position where you are facing financial hardship, which also again could lead to affecting your academic success. But the list I'm about to give you are things that you do have control over. So, in order to be successful academically, just like if you were trying to improve your physical health, you want to try and get as much sleep as you can. It's often really tempting to stay up really late to study before an exam, but studies often show that you don't tend to retain that information if you're staying up really late studying. So you want to try to get as much sleep as you can between the 7 and 8 hours of daily sleep. You also want to make sure that you have a growth mindset and change your attitude towards failure. If you're, constantly saying things like I hate math or math is not for me, that will affect your success in a math class. So it's often helpful to change your mindset and say things like I don't know the answer to this yet. And so and also understanding that throughout your academic career, or just even in our math class, there will be times where you fail a homework assignment or fail a quiz, but that doesn't mean that you can't be academically successful after that, and you want to just take that failure as a learning experience. You also want to try to work on your math 3 to 5 times a week. It's often much better to work on it several days throughout the week in small increments rather than, let's say, maybe doing all of your homework on a Saturday night and spending several hours on one day. You want to try to scatter it out so that you're retaining the information that you're learning. Make sure to write down notes, whether you're in class or you are watching YouTube videos. Studies also show that you retain the information better when you are physically writing down notes. Read the textbook. This one sounds pretty clear cut. If you are assigned a reading, just make sure that you read the textbook, and oftentimes you'll get supplemental and helpful information from the textbook. Also, it's beneficial to form study groups and find study buddies. It really speaks to how well you understand a topic if you are able to explain it to another person. Make sure that you attend class and be an active participant. So it's not only about just attending class and sitting there, but make sure that you're actively participating in group work and class discussion and ask questions if you are not understanding something that is being talked about. You can also come to office hours. I am always really enthusiastic when students come to office hours to seek help. I promise that I won't bite you and that I am here to help you. Now, I realize that I only have a limited number of hours per week for office hours, and sometimes your schedule might not align with mine. You can always try to schedule an appointment with me outside of my office hours, but another resource that you can get is you can receive tutoring for free through either the Tutoring Center or the Math Resource Center. So hopefully you were able to take away something from some of these items that are going to help you be academically successful that you have individual control over. I just want to end this video with a quote by Zig Ziglar. It says that there is no elevator to success. You have to take the stairs.